Morning, all. We have a very busy night tonight in the National Hockey League. We have 7 games starting at the same time. We have one starting half an hour later, one a half an hour after that, and then 2 hours later, the last game of the night starts, and I'll have a lot of time alone with that game. So, yeah, this is an interesting night for the schedule maker. Thanks. We'll start things off with the 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Eastern group, which is 7 strong tonight. Boston and the New York Islanders. Boston 11-3-2 against New York Rangers, who are New York Islanders, who are 9-6-3. The Islanders have actually won both games against Boston so far this year, so it's up to Boston to figure out the New York Islanders, a team that may have a better defensive structure than Boston. There you go. Nick Ritchie, 6 goals, 7 assists for Ritchie. Been very effective for Boston. And Pastrnak, of course, who's played 9 games since his return. 9 goals, 5 assists, 14 points. We'll see if he continues his hot streak and gets to listen to Barbie Girl tonight, or if the reporters are going to call him away. And then on the Islanders side, Pajot, 7 goals, 4 assists for him. And Brock Nelson, 5 goals, 3 assists, as the Islanders look for more scoring. And against Boston, these games are usually pretty defensive, 2-1, 2-0, that kind of thing. 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific, we will also see Pittsburgh and Washington again. Pittsburgh's won 3 out of 5 between these two so far. Pittsburgh 10-6-1 this season, whereas the Washington Capitals are 9-5-4. And so for the Caps, it's simple. Beat Pittsburgh. It's the same refrain that goes back to like the early 90s. So beat Pittsburgh. Jake Gensel, 6 goals, 9 assists. Off to a very, very good start to the season. And the first 17 games of the season have also been very good for Russ, who also has 6 goals, 9 assists. For a Pittsburgh team that has some pretty good depth. We'll see how they do without Jason Zucker. But again, I think they have the depth to absorb that loss. On the Washington side, Ovechkin has 6 goals, 9 assists. The 6 goals feels like it's a little slower than he normally would be at this time of year, but again, that's just the expectations. Oshie, 4 goals and 8 assists for him. He's been very solid lately. Then at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific as well, we have Carolina and Tampa. This is a 2-2 series right now between the two. This is game 5. 12-5-1 record so far for Carolina, 12-4-1 for the Tampa Bay Lightning. And by saying game 5 is the 5th game they've played against each other, it's the 4th in a row. Brock McGinn, 7 goals, 4 assists for him. One to keep an eye on, as well as Marty Necas, who surprisingly only has 2 goals to go with his 9 assists. So looking for a goal or 2 from him. On the Tampa side, of course, Braden Point, 6 goals, 11 assists. Looked great yesterday. I don't think he had a point yesterday, though. Sergachev, still waiting on that first goal, but he has 12 assists, and he has to be pretty happy about how the team's doing right now. So those personal stats kind of get shoved by the wayside by most players on teams that are playing as well as Tampa. At the same time, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, Dallas will be playing Florida again. These teams tied 1-1, and this is the 3rd game, the rubber match between the two. Dallas 6-4-4. They need to show that they can keep Florida under control. Florida at 12-4-2. Tons of shots last night. Tons of shots the game before that. The 3rd game in 4 days. We'll see if they still have the energy for another 40-plus shot night. If Dallas can defensively shut them down from getting another 40-shot plus night, be interesting. Pavelski now has 9 goals and 10 assists for 19 points. Just when we thought he was slowing down, he's not. Jamie Benn, 3 goals, 4 assists for Dallas. Not really being relied on as the leading scorer anymore. On the Florida side, Huberdeau, 7 goals, 16 assists, continues his amazing start to the season. Weegar, 1 goal, 7 assists. He was denied right, left, and center yesterday. He wants at least that 2nd goal today. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, Chicago. These guys right here. In against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Chicago now 10-6-4. Chicago and LA are proving it can always be 2015. And the Columbus Blue Jackets 8-7-5, hoping to reverse their recent misfortunes. Chicago's won 3 out of 5 meetings between these two teams. Kubalik, 6 goals, 10 assists for Chicago. Quietly having a very good season. Kane, 9 goals, 21 assists, 30 points. Fantastic numbers for Kane. He and DeBrincat have really established themselves as one of the best duos in the league. The interesting thing with Kubalik, too, is that, no, he's not scoring goals like last year, but he's still getting the points. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Calgary, Ottawa. Yep. Calgary coming off of that overtime loss last night, which was tough, but I think they were outplayed by Toronto in back-to-back games. Riddick just kind of stole one and almost stole another. They're 9-9-2, and the very dangerous Ottawa Senators 6-14-1. This is the first meeting between the two teams. And 5 of their next 6 games from Calgary, I believe I heard this last night, 5 out of their next 6 are against Ottawa. So what happens to Calgary's season could depend on how they play against Ottawa. Lindholm, 5 goals, 12 assists. Looking for him to get a couple of goals. Mangiapane is getting goals. 7 goals, 3 assists. He's honestly had a very good first, I want to say first quarter because we're 20 games in, but of course it's about the first third of the season. Josh Norris, 4 goals, 8 assists. Very good rookie season he's off to for Ottawa. And Shabbat, 3 goals, 7 assists. And underrated defenseman because he plays in Ottawa. And then also at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, meaning I'm going to have 2 boards up immediately, and then I'll have 3 boards up within an hour. So that's where it gets fun. I think my favorite part is when people in the comment section try to tell me a way to realistically be able to follow 10 games at the same time. Or in this case, it'd be 9 an hour in. You can do that. You can do taking notes. Yeah, I can write down the goals that I see them as I see them. I can't take all the notes for 9 games, not at once. There's a limit to the Rain Man here. So yeah, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. We've got New Jersey in against Buffalo. New Jersey 6-6-2. For Buffalo, who are 6-8-2, they've won 3 out of 4 against New Jersey. They know how to beat New Jersey. Zacha, 4 goals, 5 assists. He's been hot lately. PK Subban is playing better this year than last year. 1 goal, 5 assists. I think part of that is it really could not be worse than last year. Last year was terrible for him. On the Buffalo side, Olofsson, 7 goals, 7 assists, plugging along. He is one of the few Buffalo Sabres that I don't think Buffalo fans would have any qualms with how he's playing. And Dylan Cousins, 3 goals, 1 assist. You can kind of feel like there's a hot streak coming for him soon. So we'll see if tonight's the start of it, or if the last game was the start. He had a goal in the last game, I believe. Then 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. The Nashville Predators, 8-10, in against Detroit, 5-13-2. Nashville's won 2 out of 3 against Detroit. And if they win this one tonight, if they do it in a convincing fashion, it might hold the Wolves at bay for just a little bit longer. Forsberg, 9 goals, 8 assists. He's been really, really good for Nashville. A team that has trouble scoring. Forsberg has not had trouble scoring. Sissons has. Sissons still only 3 goals so far this season. On the Detroit side, Bobby Ryan, who may not finish the season as a member of Detroit. They may look to move him at the deadline. 5 goals, 4 assists. And Glenn Denning, 1 goal, 3 assists. Excellent face-off performer and pending UFA for the Detroit Red Wings. Then at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific, the Montreal Canadiens, who are 9-5-4, in against the 11-6-1 Winnipeg Jets. This is their first meeting of the season, so we'll see how things go for Winnipeg and for Montreal. Montreal, of course, this is the debut of the brand new coach, Dominic Ducharme, and we'll see how things go. The vote of confidence from Bergevin already, like, yeah, no, I'm not interviewing anybody else, and it's his job. He's got it. I like that, actually. That's not too shabby. They go from one of the older coaches in the NHL to one of the younger coaches. So we'll see how things go for Montreal. The pressure is on for Kotkaniemi. 2 goals and 6 assists going into an RFA summer. He can make it more difficult for Montreal by performing a little bit better than he has, scoring-wise. Tatar, 4 goals, 5 assists. He's not too far from unrestricted free agency. So for Tatar, he's going to want to turn around what's been a slow first third of the season for him as well. Blake Wheeler, 5 goals, 12 assists. We can debate the defensive game of Wheeler, but on the power play and in terms of getting points, it's all there. 5 goals, 12 assists. Kyle Connor, 8 goals, 8 assists. It's been a bit of a cold streak for Connor recently, it seems, but he's still getting a lot of opportunities. No reason to worry. And then at 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific, yes, I'm going to have a whole lot of time with Edmonton and Vancouver, and I can't wait. Edmonton 13-8, Vancouver 8-13-2. Don't worry, Calgary. I know you just have the Canucks. You're not the Canucks. Yeah, Edmonton's won 2 out of 3. That first win by Vancouver, that's long history now. Draisaitl, 10 goals, 23 assists. Fantastic player. Yamamoto, 5 goals and 5 assists on the Vancouver front. JT Miller, who has become the subject of much ridicule from the Canuck fan base, but he's still getting points. 4 goals, 15 assists, 19 points so far. He's one of the top point producers. I know they're talking about having him on the third line tonight. We'll see how long that lasts. And Horvat, 9 goals and 7 assists for Horvat, who you can tell is getting kind of exasperated in post-game interviews. I don't think that's going to necessarily change. It has to be tough for players 23 games into a season looking at the standings and going, well, we're done. And that's basically where Vancouver's at. And for Edmonton, who have been one of the better teams in the league over the last, month? Maybe 5 weeks. Yeah. I'm hoping we don't see another 3-0 collapse, but Anaheim's done it twice, so maybe Vancouver going to say, well, anything you can do, we can do better. So looking forward to that and spending all that time watching just that, because all these other games are out at the same time, and I'm really excited for at least half of those games. And yeah, this one gets all my attention later in the evening. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts and your predictions in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. Channel's getting pretty close to 181,000 subscribers. That's fun. Thanks for all of that. I will talk to you guys again soon.